Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammy Gibbs. Today I'm going to be working inside Artistly, but with a little different focus. I've been showing you for probably over a year now how to create wonderful images with Artistly. And now we're up to Artistly version 5, and it's making some wonderful and great images. But now I'm shifting focus just a tiny bit. I'm still going to be doing all of my videos showing you how to learn how to prompt and how to prompt better, how to get the images that you want. But it has become very important for me to also help you start really making some money with your images. And one of the things that is so important about this business, I know it's advertised and notably connected with passive income, and that's what everybody is wanting, is that passive income where you just set it out there and it works for you and you make money around the clock without having to touch it again. And that is what it does, but it doesn't mean that consistency comes without a little bit of effort. And in the early stages, to set up your empire, so to say, your business, to have it continue to grow, there are some very business like tactics that you can employ to help you get there. And that's kind of what I want to do, is blend that creativity that we all love and creating these beautiful images with that satisfaction of knowing that they're selling and they're helping our families. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And we are going to be doing some prompting. So don't, tune out thinking this is just going to be a lot of boring information, because it's not. It can really help and impact your business and your bottom line. So everybody knows that time is money. So the quicker you can do something well, now there is definitely the well in there. The quicker that you can do something, but do it right, then the more money you're going to make. Because number one, if you can do things faster, then you have more time to spend with your family. That's one of the big, I guess, pulls or things that is so attractive about passive income opportunities, is the ultimate, what do you say, the ultimate objective of getting to that point where you can spend time with your family. You can go and do things the way that you want to, that you're not just chained to the desk chair and the laptop and all of that. And so we want to work towards you developing those skills to get you there faster. So, anyway, today I'm going to be sort of kicking off. I did a video about um, visibility and my 8 hours, to jumpstart your visibility. That's in my my digital product creators playbook, and how it can help you get on the right track for creating organic visibility and sending people to your Etsy store or wherever it is that you're sending your traffic. Okay, so the basic concept for this video and for you to start thinking about is using batching to create your products rather than probably the way that you're doing them now. Most of us, when we start doing digital products, whether it be a clip art pack or a junk journal set or whatever it is, most of the people that are doing these type of products work on them one product at a time. So basically they create one clip, and I started out that way. I mean, everybody has to learn and get their groove and how things work for them. So I'm going to be showing you some ways that you can gain more time by just doing things a little bit differently. And I think probably the reason that most digital product creators, clip art creators, whatever, most of them are taught that you need to, in order to gain traction on Etsy, you need to be posting something daily. Okay. So we get in this hamster wheel of, okay, create a pack real fast, create a pack in a day, post it. create a pack in a day, post it. Okay. But with AI art, sometimes there are things that hold us up. So, anyway, first step, this is the first thing that can make a huge difference in your digital product creation and how fast you can do it. Okay, so just imagine this. Imagine taking half a day, even a day, up to a day per week. And as you develop your own way of using these techniques, you'll come to your own fastest conclusion of, what's going to work for you. So imagine this. Instead of doing that, use it for testing. I do that almost every day because I'm doing videos and I'm testing through images. And then most of the time, by the end of a video, I've got at least a couple of different really good prompts that will make really good packs. And all I have to do is go back and um, generate those. And we know that we can generate those fairly quickly, using 4 at a time, or, if you're using one of the other things, the clip art setting, you can even do 10 at a time. But the time is the time that it takes you to get to that image, get to that prompt. And sometimes we get to that prompt very quickly, and sometimes we have to develop it to get it to where we want it. So imagine taking the time to go ahead and develop those, file those away in a folder on Artistly. Excuse me, goodness, all of a sudden my voice went away. Okay, so we're going to go into Create Design. We're going to go into the Fast AI, and we're going to go over here to Personal Designs. Okay, I'm going to create a folder now that's going to say maybe the date. Let's see, 8/23/25, and then say clip art packs. Okay, so if you set it up like that, and then you have a session, let's just say a session where you're going to develop. Now, you're not going to be creating inside that. You may even want to do a working folder, which would be something like 8/23/25 working folder. Okay, so we add that one. So then when we're working through everything, we can tab it for the working folder. So if we were going in, now I created these earlier in one of the other videos. And so this is my pumpkin spice girls, or my pumpkin spice kids. It's a clip art pack. So these are already a style that I want to develop. So I'm just going to just pick one of them because the prompt on these is the same. So just make sure that, like, when you're varying them or whatever, that you're not going to be like doing a lot of variations or whatever when you're first working through to get just the style. So there's two different things. So it's kind of like in stages. So now that I have this, that I really like the look and everything, and you may early on get to that point, then you would move that image into the clip art packs, because that one is going to be representative of what I want to develop. So then I would go into my that pack name, like, whatever it is. I already have one set up for this one, but let's see, what did I name it? It should be on this one because they should already be created in it. The Pretty Pumpkin Spice Girls. Or actually, I think it's just Pretty Pumpkin Spice. Okay, so I already have those in there because when I was doing my developing. See, for you, what you would do is you would go and you would go over to that file when you got ready to work with it. And we named it by the date. So 8. Okay, so you would go into the clip art packs. You would go into this image. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to do a few of them just to show you. So what we would do is we would go in, we would regenerate, but this time we would regenerate into the Pretty Pumpkin Spice. Okay, so we would do all of our work there. Now this this is not necessarily going to be this isn't necessarily going to be at the same time that you're developing the different, like working through everything. But this is how you would set it up, how it would work in the long term, okay? Because we're going to get to how we're basically batching our tasks, because it's a lot easier to batch the task. And then once you get to that design, then you file it away into the clip art packs, and then you file it away, into the individual design when you want to start working that clip art pack out. Okay. So we would go in then, and then we would regenerate it. So like this would be where we would change hair color, maybe what they're doing, maybe this one has a pumpkin, maybe we put a, what else? Done scarecrow, a puppy wearing a straw hat on our sweater. So then we would recreate that. It'll automatically go into that file folder. Okay. While we're doing that, we're going to move forward. Okay. So we have the dates, so we can find them. Okay. Whoops. I don't have anything in the working folder. Okay. So I don't know why you have to refresh sometimes before your folder. Oh, that's so cute. That didn't work out exactly how I meant it to, but it did. It put the little puppy with so cute. Now, this one probably would not be is a little different, but oh my gosh, that's like another pack that I would want to do now. So instead of Pretty Pumpkin Spice, I'm going to move this one to my clip art pack, because that's a totally different design that I could work with. Do you get the concept of how once you get to those points where like if you create something, you make a little tweak or a change, and then it spurs like another clip art pack. Now I could work with this imagery with the pinks and with the little hats, and then we could go from there. We could generate, and we could change this. We would change this to another name, when we started working with it. But inside this one, we could change the color of the hair from brown to red. And instead of a cute puppy, it could be let's see what we would put on it. Let's see. Cute kitten. And I don't have a title for that particular, folder to go for that. But that's a totally different look. Similar little girls, but we can change them up, doing different things, wearing different clothes. Wearing the hat changes it up a little bit, but it does take it away from the fall. So that's entirely a different direction that we can go in. And then we would be just changing color of the hair and stuff like that. So now we've got a little red head with a little kitty cat on it, and these are really cute. Now, it didn't put the hat on this little girl, so we could go back in wearing a straw hat jumper with an applique. And, all of these were originally developed using the AI Artist Playbook. Volume 2, I think, is what we were working in for clip art. But that's initially how you can how that workflow works. Okay, so in the beginning, you're going to be, there we go. Now this one is a little different looking little girl, so I would probably do 4 of those if I were, and this is the working part of it, when you're really just trying to settle on something and make sure that that design is you can replicate it, that prompt is going to give you fairly consistent, and you know what that consistency looks like. And as we know, sometimes the prompts can vary. This one, the little girl, to me, it's a little rounder. Look, of course, this one has a rounder face. So um, you just want to make sure that you are able to have very similar. You don't want drastically different styles when you're doing a clip art pack or anything like that. Now, what I've always said is, now see, that's so cute. And we just, yes, those are adorable. Now see, we have that whole, those are adorable. And in reality, we can also save this because it's similar enough to, I mean, this one is a little different, but these are all very similar. So we can also save this to our clip art. Well, we've actually got it in our clip art pack, so that's fine. It was making it in the clip art pack. Now, normally you're only going to want to tag like one image in your clip art pack in order to make it where it's one you can go in and then replicate to create your actual clip art named pack. So this may be, something to do with the little girls and the hats, whatever theme you decide to file it under. But they're all very cute. So if we change it back and we do the brown hair, I think the reason that they looked a little different, if I had to guess, is because this one was sort of just, it interpreted when we put the hat on the little dog and matched it. So it kind of just did that. So that may be harder to replicate. And we may end up with these, which are also very pretty. So she really do have almost two different styles. So very cute. And of course, you'd look at the different little things. You still have to edit or not edit, but cull the ones that, have little outlier things. Or if it's just something small like this, you can touch it up if you want to use that image. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so basically what you're going to do, and we're going to start kind of from the beginning, and we're going to do sort of what I call a prompting session. So it's where I'm going to have concepts for what clip art I want to do that day. So maybe I pick out 2 or 3 themes that I want to do something for. So today we could try for, we've done this one. So this is a little girl. And then we could try for some cute puppies, or we could try for, I'm going to do simple things just to give you the concept. And then you can pick out your themes. Maybe we want to do a fantasy element, like we want to do castles, or we want to do, it's getting around the holidays. So maybe we want to do elves. Okay. So what we're going to do is we would start wherever you want to start in whatever designer that you want to start with, to start building. But all these sessions I do where I kind of jump from here and then I jump from there and I try out the different things. That's what you want to do on your like work sessions or prompting sessions. So you can do that in half a day or a day, depending on how many packs you want to develop. And then what you're going to do is, because you can do all of that and you don't have to stop and do, your, you don't have to remove backgrounds and you don't have to do all this other stuff with it. Now, one thing I might would do, and as you see in my videos, a lot of times, especially if you're using an artistic designer because of the extra elements it puts in there, sometimes the layering it does makes background removal more difficult for clip art designers. Now, if you're not a clip art designer, it won't affect you. But if you're using something like that, you may want to take just a tiny second and throw it into Pixel Cut or whatever background remover you use, just for a quick to just see whether those images are mostly going to come clean, because you don't want to do like, okay, this is a great one, and then start later the next day start developing that pack and then have all of those images not turn out because the background can't be removed clean. So just some little tips. Okay, so if we go into artistic designer and let's just say we want to, okay, I'm going to start with a nautical theme. Let's say we want to do sailboats because we want to do like a nursery pack or something. We could put a cute toy sailboat, and that's a hint also. If you really want a sailboat but you want the more primitive nursery type sailboat and you don't want like a real sailboat, always put toy sailboat on there. A cute toy sailboat. And then we're going to go into our playbook and we're going to go up here. And we're going to go over here to this baby and nursery clip art and choose like a sub style. So nursery scenes, vintage inspired toys. Let's do the vintage inspired toys. Okay, we're going to put it here. And we're going to do vintage inspired toy. Erase everything except for, I'm going to do it like that. A cute toy sailboat. And then we're going to go back and we're going to go into the soft watercolor washes. Or actually, let's see. Let's do smooth pastel strokes and even finishes first. And we're going to put it here for now. And then we're going to go to select a watercolor. Let's say wet on wet watercolor. Or let's do the soft watercolor illustration. Then we need to select colors. So we're going to put this in front. It's saying pastel, so let's just try it and see. And let's do this aspect ratio. And we're really not going to, we would put this in the workspace. So let's go ahead and put that there, the working folder. So when it populates, it'll already be in that folder and we can go back and refer to it. And there we have a cute sailboat. I'm not sure why it probably, I don't know. I don't know why it's done that. Okay, so let's do 4 of those. We don't need Mirror Magic. I hit that by mistake. Okay, let's make 4 of them. And then we'll see if it takes the little things. I mean, that's still a super cute image. And more than likely, if we go into Pixel Cut, let's test it. Because right off the bat, that one is cute. That would make a cute color scheme and everything. So this would be fine. We could clean this up. We could refine it right now. We could just drag it like this. I'm just now discovering that Pixel Cut has this where you can go in and you can do just like you do in Canva. So sometimes it's simpler just to hit refine and do it like that. I finally, after using this for over a year, realized I could do that. So download it because it's cool. But this is a great image. It's got a great, I just happened to get lucky. And, sometimes we get lucky and we can then regenerate that. And we like the finish. So instead of a toy sailboat, maybe then we do a top, perhaps, a spinning top. Because the colors looked good, the finish, the choices we made for, oh, these are all very cute. See the cute sailboats? Yes, that's definitely one that is workable for us. So that gives us our little toy boats. You've got the one with the pull toy. Yeah, so all of those are really cute. And then let's see if our spinning top. So now we can have, yes, that is so cute. Look how cool that is. Okay, so that would also be one that we would put, and we will just move that to now our clip art folder because that's a pack we can develop. And now you may have different ones, just like with the little girls. If you change the prompt and you're going to want to use the particular prompt deviations, or maybe that's not a great word for it, but anyway, your development of your prompts. But see, like this one, this gives us the top toy. So you may actually use several of those to develop out and flesh out your actual packs, but you want to snag them just like I have. I've going to move this one from the working folder to the clip art pack because that's one that's going to do. And you can also use the images, like if you test 4 like this, then you can do one of 2 things. You can go ahead and move those if all of those are the ones that you want to use. You can move all of them to your, the clip art pack so that they don't get lost. Or you can wait until your session is over with, and then you can select the images that are good to use in your packs and then move them into your pack for that particular, like this may be vintage toys that I would do, or I may do one that is more nautical in nature, or I may develop packs both ways because I could take this one, go back in, and then let's just say we're doing nautical and we want, instead of a toy, we take toy away and just leave the vintage inspired. And then we do a cute whale. We could do a whale. We could do okay, so see, we have a whale. we could develop it further and to get the classic kind of well. So this is where we're in the working folder, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the right looking well. So instead of a cute well, just put a rounded well, because we want that big round kind of classic well. So we need to use qualifiers that'll give us the same texture, the same color scheme, but we want to refine how that well looks for our pack. So some subjects are going to require just a little bit more work. Okay, so that one did not give us that kind of well, but it's not a bad picture. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take the rounded well and let's put a well and then for a baby nursery decor. And then let's do 4 of those. Okay. But see, while the trick with Artistly is if it takes a few minutes, that's not a problem because we can go ahead and it will allow you to go ahead and start working on another prompt. So we can regenerate from here. Instead of vintage inspired well, we can put lighthouse. And that's how you keep your flow going. That's how you keep moving ahead. And this is all being developed inside that working folder. So then you don't have to go all the way back through, everything's kind of separated. There we go. Now we're beginning to get some cute image. See, now this one is cute. So we know that with this one, we can get some super cute little, oh, I know what we can prompt that might work. And here's we did get the colors and everything, but the style of this is a little bit more than we would want. So we would want to start adding, we've got for a baby nursery, we would take that off for that one. And then simple, and we would add also isolated against a white background, or let's just put transparent background. It's not going to do transparent, but it's going to probably work the same way. We're going to test it. Okay, soft watercolor illustration. And we can also take illustration out of there if we start getting a little too much artsy. Okay, so back to the whale. Okay, so with the whale one, what we can do is we can do a Scandi style whale and see what that does. Because this is the style we're after here. And these are fine. We could definitely put them in our pack, but we're after this style. Okay, so that did not work. The transparent background didn't work. There's something in there with the lighthouse that is pigments, let's put clipart. And it's different. The subjects, as they change and everything, you may have to do a little work. That's why it's a working folder. That's why we're doing it. We're basically doing all the work. Okay, so that one didn't give us the same. Let's do 4 of those wells. The key to this is now see, we're still getting all the background and everything. And we took illustration out, so let's change it around a little bit. a lighthouse. Are isolated against. We just are looking for that simple. Okay, so we are getting more into the look. Now this would be fine. And I believe that would, I think the background will remove well on this one. Yes, perfect. So now, as long as they're bulky, they match in with what we wanted to do. I'm going to download this one because he's good. Okay. So, and here we got even fancier with the lighthouse. So that lighthouse is just not working with those things. Now, those are perfectly good images. So you're still going to have this working file that you're going to have these images that you can go back and develop into even different. Now, we can develop that into we're going to do 4 of those just so we see what the standard, what it's going to deliver for that, because even though it may not go, oh, this one's so cute. Isn't he so cute? Oh, precious. So now we've got the whale down that can kind of go with the different stuff. So we've got a pack there that we can work with. This one would, all of those would work together. But this image, let's just download it and see kind of. Now this would be great for junk journaling or scrapbooking or whatever you want to call it. This would be great for a nautical type junk journal thing. So save the image from your work file, put it in a future junk journal folder or something. And then, of course, you always want to be downloading these also as well, but you would do that kind of at the end. But see, we have this image, and this image that all would be great for that sort of thing. And yes, that's going to consistently give us those sorts of images. So then what we can do is we know that it produces that sort of image. We're going to go over here and we're now going to put that in our packs, or we would then move it to like a junk journal type thing. So wherever you want to put it, you can do it now. You could add the folder later and just move them from one place to with the bulk move. It's not as hard to move them as it used to be. And now we have this that we need to move to the clipart packs because it's delivering the similar style of whale that we want. And we have several whales that are already developed for our pack. Now, sometimes when you're developing, you're going to end up, to get where you want to be, developing enough art for small packs. Like you may go through and end up with 10 images as you're trying, and then the work's done. So then all you have to do is go in, separate them into a folder, download them, and clean them up, and then you're ready to do something with them. But the whole concept is not to get super bogged down. Start in your direction of your themes that you're wanting to work on, and then just have fun and be creative. If you don't even want to pick any themes and you just want to pull something out of the air that day and allow yourself to be super creative. I guess that's my point. Allow yourself to be super creative and maybe do that and do a lot of brainstorming and stuff. Now, I will say that with Artistly having to adopt these daily fair usage, whatever limitations, 400 to 500, I think is what it is a day, then you're going to want to prompt wisely, I guess you could say. It's when I'm developing, a lot of times until I get one that I think is pretty good, I'm going to try to do that one-on-one. And that way it doesn't use up as much of your allotted amount per day. And it's a workaround. And so then when I do have one, and you've seen me, exercising this in this video already, when I get ready to see if that's going to be a consistent prompt, because sometimes prompts can be beautiful, but then when you try to duplicate them, more times, you see that there's something in that prompt that really is not specific enough to get a similar result every time, a more consistent result. So keep that in mind as well. But give yourself some freedom to be creative, because you see, we have gone from little girls to the toys to now we're with whales. And what else can we do? What else could we do in a pack that would be similar in style, but we'll change it around? Because that's also a really good concepting way to go about getting cool packs. And I know that a lot of people design to trends. So let's just say frogs were the trend, funny frogs or something like that. So we can leave this, and we can, instead of have a whale, we can do a funny frog. Okay. And let's see if we get a similar style in a frog that maybe could be worked into a trending frog pack. Once we get the look, then we can decide what to do with it. Let's say it works, and we're going to say that the funny frog wearing a party hat. Oh, that frog is gorgeous, y'all. And this is how my best things happen. That frog is amazing. So far, one of my most favorite images so far in this exercise. Okay, I've got to take him in because I love him. Let's see. Hopefully he's going to clean up. Oh my gosh, he cleaned up very well. He is very handmade, hand looking. I love those images that work that way. Oh, look how cute. So cute. Let's do him too. Pop him in over here and see if he works well. Perfect. Refine it by taking these little things right here, and we could zoom in. And only thing is, remove those right there. Done. Look how cool that is. So that's a whole entirely different pack and direction I can go in, because because these frogs alone, and I'm just going to show you, and this is still in our working folder. We can regenerate this frog, funny frog. We could even go down here and see how it affects it, to just put the what he's wearing. The funny frog is wearing a princess crown. Now, there is a difference between this image and that image when we changed it and said to wear the hat. There just is. So, because of the eyes and everything are different. So let's do 4, because that's, again, one of those things that I was telling you, that once you get one, you need to see how consistent that prompt is going to be. Like, are all the frogs going to have eyes like that? And what do we have to do them? And see, this one is even a little different. But all 3 of these would be cool packs. So let's just test this one, and then we would have to refine it to see how we would be able to get that frog's look with doing the bigger things. Now, this one does have bigger eyes. That one has bigger eyes. But see, we didn't actually prompt it on the eyes. It's just randomly choosing eyes. So this is a lesson and a troubleshooting tip that we need to go in, and we need to try to mimic what we got in the terms. Now, not that some of these couldn't be used together. I mean, they actually could. But if we really wanted all of them to have the big eyes, then we would go back in and say with big, round, white eyes with black centers. I'm not sure if that's the right. Because if there's specific elements you want to be repeated or done differently, then you do have to prompt for that. And that's why I get one I like and then I'll do 4 images, because from image to image, there we go. Now see, now we have one that gives us a very specific thing. It's still super cute. We could adjust the pupils or whatever. But now we could do 4 of these and test the consistency with giving it that direction. It did the direction really well with this one, so will it have the same thing on the other ones? And that's how we're refining that prompt. But now all of these, I mean, if you could, the key is that's why a lot of your prompts you get really discouraged is you get one prompt and it's like perfectly what you want, but then you can never recreate it because in the original prompt was the AI guessing at it. Okay, so this one's a little screwed up, but this one is great. That one's right along with the big white eyes. So it looks like that prompt is going to be fairly consistent. Now that we have that written into it, we can probably go back and now add the elements. So we could do something like the funny frog is wearing a crown. See, all of those are fairly consistent with the big eyes and then this one should be wearing a crown and hopefully it will still have the big eyes. Perfect. See? And all of these are so super cool because they look very hand drawn. So this is definitely one that we're going to now move over to our clip art pack because this one has the right combination. It's telling it the right eye look and everything that we want. Now, if we were doing these that have random eyes, you could just recreate them and you're not telling it to do any particular eyes, and those would still make up a really cool pack. So I'm also going to move this one over into the clip art packs, and then I'm going to go back to my original frog. But all of these, you could group all of these into frog packs. You would just sort of elaborate with it. But this frog here, we could still we're going to move him to the clip art packs. I'm going to do a one-off just to see what it gives me. I know what it gave me whenever I tried to add something to it, but let's just see what it does if I don't add anything. So now we've jumped all around and we've got frogs that we can work with. Okay. So still not like it, but you definitely could use them in the same pack. So very cool. Okay, so We've got lighthouses, wells now. I mean, all of these can be developed off, and this is literally, I mean, this is less than an hour that I've been working at this. So think about how much you could do if you just let yourself go and you don't have the pressures of, oh, I've got to do a pack. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to get this pack out. Because what's going to happen if you will take just a tiny bit of time and you will allow yourself to do these things, then you're going to be producing in bulk on the other end as well, because then you're going to be able to go back in, remove all the backgrounds, remove, upscale them, do the 300 DPI, have them ready, upload them to Canva, in their different respective folders, make one big folder that says, clip art for we're going in soon into September, so clip art for September, and 2025, and then under that, have your individual folders that you're going to work with. Go ahead and name all of your clip art packs that you want to do based on your work session. So it could be friendly frogs, it could be frog royalty, it could be whatever direction you want to take it in. It could be the froggy life, whatever thing that you want to work with as a working title for your clip art. And then you would set up that folder, go ahead, have all of your images, background removed, upscaled, or whatever you need to do to them, and ready to go. And then, I have a whole video on how my listing process goes. So then you just go in and then you can list 2 or 3 packs, maybe set a goal to list 7 packs. That's one a day, and then schedule them to go out. So, you may lose in the front end, you may lose to get this all set up. You may lose a week of time of that listing every day, but I don't think you will, because I think in about a couple of days, you would already have enough set aside for your packs that you could go ahead and schedule out. You could go ahead and get to that stage where you're actually listing a product very quickly. But then if you can ever get ahead of the game with this, then it is going to revolutionize the way you do your clip art. And you're actually going to be more creative because you're giving yourself permission to go in and then simply create, simply prompt. And then if you run out of images, if you do that much in a day, 400 or 500 images, and you've come out with several different pack prompts that then you can go in and develop those into packs, it really doesn't take that long to develop them into packs once you get that one prompt that is correct, because you're wanting consistency for your packs. So you're not rewriting your prompts at that stage. All you're doing is changing what they're doing. For instance, like with these frogs, we could put that frog is sitting on a lily pad because we want it to be different. So the frog is sitting on a lily pad. And then we don't sit and wait. Okay, that's my new phrase. We don't sit and wait. We populate more prompts. So then we can say, instead of sitting on a lily pad, it is sitting on a log. See, sitting on a lily pad. And I don't know how I ended up with 2 images, but okay, lily pad. I must have redid the lily pad one. We're looking for the log. Oh, that one's really cute. Oh, he's so cute. And he really reminds me of that first one that we did. Look how cute he is. He's adorable. And he could be used two ways because you could leave the background on it and make him into like a sticker. You could even put a cute little saying up here, some funny saying or whatever. He is so super cute. So, okay, so see, that's how quick and easy it can be once you get those. So, we're kind of working across the themes, workflow, getting it in there. We're not making our pack right now. All we're doing is I'm demonstrating how that when you get into your pack with these prompts, you can go from, see, I went from this to all of these. And they all look similar, so they could all go into the same pack, but we're not removing backgrounds. We're not doing any of the cleanup work on them or getting them ready. We're not even doing the listing process. Right now, we're just in creative mode. We're in coming up with these things. So, okay, I have frogs here. I like I used the playbook. I got a real good flow of color and style. So let's just do something different with it because, we're thinking outside the box. What are some other really evergreen, trendy kind of things? That would be like cowboys and cowgirls and that sort of thing. So let's just, instead of us, let's do um, a cute cowgirl with pretty eyes because otherwise, or let's just do it without and see if it makes the eyes close. We may have to go back for a baby nursery decor. Okay. And we're also going to try it with the pretty eyes and see which one we like. With pretty eyes. Because we're flowing, maybe, today we're doing this kind of style. These kind of colors. Oh, pretty. Very cute. Let's download it to see if. Still got closed eyes though, so we're going to have to probably use this image. But let's see if this one, how it cleans up. Because it's got a little bit of busyness. She looks like she cleaned up pretty good. Let's download her and see. Cleaned up very nicely. Look how cute she is. Okay, so back to here. Oh, look how cute. But she doesn't have her open eyes. So regenerate with pretty brown eyes. And let's see if that works. And again, we don't sit and wait. This one, we need to change the aspect rate, or we actually need to cowgirl. And then we'll down here wearing cute cowboy boots. I have two that we're waiting on. But the look is awesome. This looks like she might have some ears right here, but that's okay. Like I said, we're in the work session, so we're not worrying about little things like that. We're just developing. I love the little, it almost looks like she has some little freckles on her cheeks. That's sort of a new look. Okay. So that one, we did get the full figure in, but we still do not have the eyes open. So we have to figure out what to do with that. And it may be moving the whole thing a little closer to the front. And that one kind of veered off. That one's an outlier image. I am going to have to wait on this image because I have to, in order to see what I need to correct in the prompt, I need to see what this image looks like. There we go. Oh, perfect. She is precious. Okay, so now we need to check and see if we can get 4 of her because she is so super cute. She's one of the cutest little cowgirls I think I have gotten. So I would love to have a whole little collection of her. And then think about the other girls. I mean, it's a cowgirl, but could this look give you a mermaid? Could it give you a princess? Could it give you a little doctor or whatever else? So that's where you get your buildable ideas and your buildable prompts for Artistly or any other really. Um, that concept goes across the different generators, but or platforms, but especially with Artistly, that's a fantastic way to get your consistency. Oh, I'm loving them. Her eyes are a little teensy bit weird, but I'm loving them. That big hat and they're precious. Now this one closed eyes, but then really cute. So, okay, so that's going to be one that's going to give us a little bit of both, but I really think we can work with that, and that would be a really cute. I could probably go back in and prompt some denim and some stuff like that, and probably get even more. But this one's already in the clip art pack, so this is going to give us the images. So you're going to be pulling images from the clip art pack or work the work session to go in your pack if you want to use any of those. Now, some of these, you have to go back and look at their hands, and that's going to determine how many times it's going to take to get the number that you want in that clip art thing. So you'd also want to, go in, use your prompt keeper or whatever you use to keep up with your prompts. And of course, once you get these clip art packs, when you get those representative prompts in that pack, you're going to want to take and transfer those out, download the images, transfer it to your prompt keeper, put the image in, put the prompt in, so that in the future you can go back when you want that style of something and you can, go from there. Okay, so now let's go really crazy. We've got these colors, we've got this look, and let's see what else we can do with it. Let's take in, because we're, like I said, and we literally have made how many packs now? We're up to at least probably 4 or 5 that I can think of right off the bat. The frogs, the cowgirls, um, the sailboats, your lighthouses for your junk journal. What else did we do? Whales. Did I say whales? Anyway, so lots of different ones that we have done and variations within those clip art packs. So we've already got a lot to almost a whole week's worth of clip art right now designed, and it's less than it's around an hour that we've been doing this. So let's go in and see. We're going to take the pretty eyes out, and we're going to leave the Scandi style, and we're just going to put a floral spray featuring peonies, eucalyptus, olive branches, fern, etc. And then we're going to take away wearing cowboy, whatever. And then we're going to go down here to this one. Okay, this really should be in the work session. Let's move it to the work session. Working folder. Because that's what we're doing is we're testing. But your prompt really is your pack when you think about it like that. So once you develop that one prompt that's going to allow you to create all of those different images. Okay. So now this one gave us a whole bunch of random images rather than doing a particular. The reason probably being it may be because I did the illustration. Oh, I know what it is for the baby decor nursery. Let's take that out because that's more like a pattern kind of thing. Okay, let's redo it. Not that this isn't cool because you could break some of these apart. It's just harder to break things apart. So the coloring, and you can see the presentation of it is awesome. So again, this is why we're doing a work session, a prompting session. This is why we're being all creative and just throwing everything at it, seeing what comes out. My best is, oh, it's still doing it. So let's see. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so vintage inspired let's see, folk art instead of a folk art. Scandi style floral spray featuring of instead of featuring. And let's see if that's tiny tweaks. Most of my best clip art and best designs, because my invitations mostly come from clip art. I'll see a piece of clip art and think, oh, that's going to be a great invitation. So I go from there. So most of my best images come from sessions like this. There we go. Okay, so now we've got something pretty. We can regenerate it. And we would need to isolate against a background clip art. But then we could even, we could go in and develop. But now the way that this is done, if we could regenerate this one to say, since it's doing that, let's just change it up and say, pretty peonies in a grid style, or in a grid, one per grid square. And just see if it'll put the single peonies. Okay, so this one, what did I do? Clip art, background. I mean, that is a pretty image. I'm not sure. Let's do 4 of them and see what we get. We may have to put clip art in the front. And again, this is the process. We're getting some more back. This, I don't even know why it's doing this like backgrounds. There's nothing in there that's telling it illustration, maybe. Maybe it's the illustration that we need to remove. I know a lot of times I need to remove the illustration. Okay, so that didn't work. The grid didn't work. Actually, that wasn't the grid one. That was just that was the other one. Let's see, grid style. Was this the grid style? Yes, that was the grid style. Very interesting. I'm gonna, okay. I'm going to try something else here. Okay, so the grid style, nope, that's not grid style either. But it did separate them like this, so that's very interesting. We're going to take illustration out wherever it's at. Okay, so let's take this illustration out. Soft watercolor clip art and replace it with clip art. Well, here's our grid, and that's a pattern. I don't think it's seamless. Let's go in and I have the best luck with seamless patterns when I'm not really trying to get them or when I just, let's see, let's get back in. Okay, this is going to be one, there are going to be some that are going to need more work or that you're going to file away into one of those things that you need to work on more. But I am interested to see how off this one is. It looks pretty off. Y'all, it's not too far off considering I just kind of threw it together. Okay. I'm not going to go any further with that. This is going to all go into my, now this one finally got down to, I don't know why it did, but that one finally got down to more of the image like we were looking for. Just the simple image with the colors. One more try, one more stab at it, and then I'll move on. I'm going to go back to little cowgirls and let's see if we can do a cowboy. And I'm leaving pretty eyes just because that's just, it's just is. And we don't have it wearing a dress or anything, so I'm going to let it interpret that. Now, in the things that you want it to be able to interpret differently, okay, well, we got at least another one. It's more of the spray. And then we got a lot of little details here, which is kind of wacky. But that's okay. So we're looking for a little cowboy now to go with our little cowgirl. Okay, that's a little weird. So this one is one of those, let's delete this image. Okay, cute style cowboy. Let's say the cowboy is wearing cute cowboy boots. But this is how we do it. We're brainstorming, we're being creative, we don't have any pressure. You know, that's when your best images are going to come, when you just allow yourself not to be so focused in on one particular, you know, and this technique may not work for everybody. This is what works for me. This is how I gain more time to do other things. So cute. He's really cute. I would play around and see about the nose is a little, but most of these characters have those kind of blush noses. But he is super cute. And another little hacker tip or thing to remember is that the things you want consistent, make sure to address. The things like, for instance, I didn't specify exactly how I wanted the clothes to look, you know. So that would be something that would vary. You know, if I want the same hair color, then, you know, that would be what I would prompt in there. So that way you're letting the computer, or you're letting the AI have a little bit of creative license to go in and change little tiny details for you. Now, his eyes are not open, so of course I would continue until I got his eyes opened. But that's pretty much, let's go look back over some of the images. They're just so cute. I love the frogs. They're probably my favorite. The frogs, and just because it's kind of dynamic, I love the little girl here. So cute. To me, that frog and this one would be those sort of images that you could probably sell just for that one image, because it's just really good. So sort of in review, what you want to do to get started with is having work sessions. You know, set your folders up however you want to, keep that work session apart. When you get a winner, move it over into a different folder, however you name them, however you do them, to set it up for you so it makes sense for you. But then you're going to have that working folder. I do suggest dating them so you know what goes with what. So if you have the same dates on those different folders, then you're going to know those go together if you don't work immediately with it, because you may, like I did, multiples that will go into a pack. So I already have half the pack done on a few of them. If I was only doing like maybe a 15 or 16 image, maybe a 20 image pack, I've already got, like the frogs, I've already got part of that, at least a quarter of it already done. So I'd want to go and pull those images into that folder as well and remove them from the work folder. And then, you know, you can leave the working images in there or whatever. But you may want to name your work folder like a certain style. You know, if you're going to be working, you think, in a certain style. We didn't vary a lot on style, because once we got a look that we liked, you see how it turned different for different things. I didn't even vary a lot with color and stuff this time. But the basic look and style, and this one was all under artistic designer. We didn't even get into, let's try it. You know, I cannot leave a subject like untouched if it dawns on me. So let's do this. Let's go in with this prompt now, and just, I'm going to show you how to even further your benefit of your work session. Now we're going to go into AR Art Illustrator. Let's try this doodle style with this prompt and see what it gives us. I'm just going to do this. Because that's going to even explode. Oh my gosh, look how cute. Look how cute that image is. And now you have a cute thing for stickers or whatever. Absolutely adorable frogs. Let's regenerate and do 4 of those, and see what kind of variations we get. This is the beauty. This is what is so good about Artistly, is being able to just simply just go over there and, you know, pick another. Look how cute they are. They're adorable. And again, you could vary them and take them off the log, because that prompt says a log. But so cute. Okay. So now once you're under the AI Illustrator, you don't have to copy the prompt anymore, and you can actually go and try in different styles. So let's do this golden style, because that is a very, it was not a normal one that you would even think to do. But this pack of frogs, if you put it out too, it's not going to, a person looking at your store is not going to think, oh, she used that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so in love with this one. Oh my gosh. This is a pack I'm going to be doing. And this is time for the reminder. Although my prompts are where you can see them, I appreciate when you don't use my exact prompts. Now, you can start with my prompt and you can do some changes, but most of the time I'm going to be converting those into clip art packs. And so I really appreciate if you use the concepting, and you can use the base prompt and change it around, but try not to do them where they're all alike. And just like mine, we want to all be different, but this is such a cute version of this. So just adorable. We're going to put this in the clip art pack because this one is a true winner for me. I love it. I think that style would be just do very well. And see, so we already did all that. I mean, and still, this video is still under an hour and a half right now. So in just this period of time, you see how many packs I've already worked on that I can go back in. I can just keep generating a few of them, and then I already have a whole bunch of packs that I can put out. So it's all about how you use your time. And sometimes it's a lot easier not to have to stop and start. And I learned this a long time with a lot of other tasks. If you have something that is a similar task, it's so much easier to go in there and do it all at one time. Then it's simple to go back in and do your, batch your removing the backgrounds, and you're upscaling the images and everything. Do all that because you're into that program. You're not opening and closing or you're not opening a whole bunch of different programs and flipping from this one and flipping from that one. You're basically just, okay, I've downloaded all of my images. Now let me take those images and let me run them through the background removal. Let me run them through the upscale. And then when you get done with everything and you've got them all right in Canva and all that kind of stuff, then you can pull them back out and you can run them back through the 300 DPI, and get them 300 DPI. Or you can leave them in Canva. I have a video on that, how you can get 300 DPI out of Canva as well. But this is so super cute. So then you could go in if you didn't want to. I mean, I've already got those others like on a lily pad and all that kind of stuff. But we could actually just sitting on a log, sitting on a lily pad, we could do that. We would be doing that here. So we want to vary what we're getting. But just the style, the coloration, all of that is so cute. It made an amazing. See how cute? Those are precious. Those are just so precious. So this will probably be one that I work on right away because this is like the frogs are really cute. So then, like I said, you could be doing something, a different. I don't even know if frogs are trending. It doesn't really matter because now I have these. And sometimes, even if you go ahead and create things, if they look cute, save them in a folder and save them for a time when they're trending. Or better yet, go ahead and list them because you never know when there's going to be a trend that picks up for frogs. So anyway, so super easy to go in and then just when it's working, that prompt's working, just, wearing a crown. It could be wearing a cowboy hat. And I should have done that at the bigger. Let's do it let's go back and change it. The aspect ratio for this one. Okay. Oh my gosh. Y'all are going to get tired of me saying that, but I'm just in love with these frogs. These frogs are crazy. Look at that. And who would have ever thought this is under golden style? That blows my mind. Well, this is just, you need to be doing it this way. You need to be, if you're in the digital product space, this will make your life so much easier if you can just kind of get on board with this. And, can you just imagine just giving yourself the freedom to do this? I think our mind is the mental block that sometimes just prevents us from being able to get a good flow. And if we're worried about, okay, I've got to get this pack and it's got to be perfect and it's got to be this, like that, our mental stress is just through the roof. And it just really impacts our creativity. But when we just let it go and realize that time is money, but sometimes when you can still have a little bit of fun and still save a lot of time. These work sessions are going to absolutely just, they're going to transform your business and how you feel and how you do your clip art packs or your junk journal packs or whatever you're doing. They're going to transform your image creation with AI. Thank you for watching the video, and I want to remind you about the AI artist playbooks. They're what I have been using to do this video and do the create the prompts with. And they have tons of different word banks, phrase banks, textures, all the things you need to create your own unique prompts and elevate your prompting and your image creation with AI. You can purchase those on Etsy and on Gumroad. If you are in the EU, you will have to purchase through Gumroad, and I do currently have a discount coupon, and it's summer 50. And if you're buying through Etsy, the discounted prices will already, if there's a current sale, be applied to, and there'll be a sale price. You don't have to use a code. And as far as the playbooks go, the Junk Journal edition is only available on Gumroad. It's not available on Etsy anymore. And so if you don't have Artistly and you've just been watching the videos and you like what you see, there's no time like the present to jump right in. You'll have a lot of fun with it. There are many, many different creators inside of Artistly. My videos sometimes cover one, sometimes they cover multiple designers inside Artistly. But if you're thinking about buying it, I would appreciate it if you'd use my affiliate link. It's located down in the description, and it does not cost you anything more to use it. You can even use the coupon codes that the company releases occasionally floating around out there. I think they do have a 10% or something going right now, but it may be more. I don't know when you're watching this. So check around and see if there's a coupon code you can apply, and you can help me out and save some money too. I have a Facebook group that is free to join, and I also have a weekly newsletter that is also free to get, and it just has lots of ideas on how to create, how to market your products, all those sort of neat digital product creator things. So that information and those links are also in the description. So you're welcome to join those. I even have a VIP program for anybody. Well, not program. It's a group. It's a Facebook group, but it is a VIP. So once you purchase, then you qualify to belong to that group if you'd like to join it. If you have any trouble making the link is actually in the playbooks. So for that VIP group, or if for some reason you can't find it, just send me a message or a comment or something, and I will help you find out how to get into that group if you've purchased one of the playbooks. And until next time, happy creating.